អង្គបបសុស្ដីយើងខ្ញុំជាតិខ្មែរអោនជ្រកក្រោមលំអង្គព្រះបារមីនៃព្រះនុប្តីជ័យវរមានសក្តិពីបុរាណល្បីល្បាញខ្លាហានអង្គសម័យប្រាសាទសេឡាកំបាំងកនដាលព្រៃគួរឲ្យស្រមៃនឹកដល់យល់សាំងមហានគរជាតិខ្មែរដូចថ្មគង់វងនៅល្អរឹងពឹងជុំហោយើងសំខំពោភ័មព្រេងសំណាងរបស់កម្ពុជាមហាក្នុងគេដំណគ្រប់វត្តអារាមលឺតែសូរសាធរថ្លែងគុណអំណរឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាជួយផុតទុំភ័យវីរភាពអង្ចារួមក្រុមការងារខានរាប្រស្រីប្រយុទ្ធជោគជ័យយកបានអំណាចជាតិនឹងទិនដីមានសិទ្ធិសេរីរសុខសាន្ត
យើងខ្ញុំព្រះករុណាសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំព្រះគុណជាម្ចាស់គ្រប់ព្រះអង្គជាទីសក្ការៈសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរឯកឧត្តមសាស្ត្រាចារ្យបណ្ឌិតដាំឆាត់រីអគ្គស្ថាបនិកអគ្គមេបញ្ជាការឧត្តមក្រុមរក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិជាទីគោរពដល់ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់និងសូមជំរាបសួរបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងសកលលោកនេះជាកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីលើកទី11ថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានប្រធានបទស្ដីអំពីការប្រៀបផ្ទឹមសាធារណរដ្ឋខ្មែរចាស់និងសាធារណរដ្ឋខ្មែរថ្មីយើងនឹងបកស្រាយជូនដល់អស់លោកស្រីជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសមានដូចតទៅ Good evening and welcome back to Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint Show. And now I would like to introduce our panelists this evening. Right now we have Miss China Set and Miss Galiano.And my name is Chavi Put. I am your host tonight. On December 17, we are remembering the 10 years anniversary of the wrongful arrest and hold His Excellency against his human right for 7 months. That was the most stupidity act of Hun Sen, and we all sure that Hun Sen regretted for grossly mistake. Okay, welcome back to our 11 show, ladies.Thank
you, Bong.
Thank you, Bong.
Yes, before we start our show, we have a short 6-minute video. Please, Bong Mani, please play the video.
The end of the centuries when Khmer had created the Khmer the abundant musicians with the art to music.
បំរើការពារផលប្រយោជន៍របស់ប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរដែលជាម្ចាស់អំណាចការពាររតនសម្បត្តិសុវណ្ណធម្មជាតិនិងទឹកដីខ្មែរខេត្តខាងលើខ្មែរកណ្ដាលខ្មែរខេត្តខាងក្រោមនិងខ្មែរចម្ប៉ាស័កខ្មែរលាវគោរពសិទ្ធិពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរនិងសិទ្ធិមនុស្សការការពារសន្តិសុខប្រជាពលរដ្ឋការការពារសន្តិសុខថ្នាក់មេដឹកនាំការពារផលប្រយោជន៍ជនជាតិខ្មែរដែលរស់នៅបរទេសការការពារអត្តសញ្ញាណកិត្តិយសនិងភាពថ្លៃថ្នូររបស់ប្រទេសកម្ពុជានៅលើឆាកអន្តរជាតិលើកដំកើងជីវភាពរបស់ពលរដ្ឋខ្មែររឹងរឹតតែមមាញឹកខ្លាំងជាបឋមផងដែរគឺចរន្តកម្លាំងចលករធម្មពលជីវភាពកែតម្រង់ដីធ្លីនិងចែកដីដល់ប្រជាកសិករដែលខ្វះខាតដីធ្វើកសិកម្មចែកដីធ្លីសម្រាប់ធ្វើផ្ទះសម្បែងដល់អ្នកឥតទីជម្រកខ្មែរម្ចាស់ទឹកម្ចាស់ដីត្រូវតែមានដីធ្លីជាដាច់ខាតសម្រាប់គ្រួសារនីមួយៗបែងចែកទៅតាមសមាមាត្រនៃចំនួនសមាជិកគ្រួសារនីមួយៗស្ដារនិងលើកកម្ពស់ស្មារតីលើកដំកើងកម្រិតជីវភាពជូនដល់មន្ត្រីអ្នករាជការខ្មែរទាំងឋានន្តរស័ក្តិទាំងប្រាក់បៀវត្សលមមស័ក្តិសមមិនអាចនឹងចងសតិចិញ្ចឹមចិត្តប្រព្រឹត្តអំពើពុករលួយនិងជិះជាន់កេងប្រវ័ញ្ចប្រជាប្រដ្ឋខ្មែរជាចៅហ្វាយនេះរបស់ខ្លួនស្ដារនិងលើកដំកើងកម្រិតជីវភាពរបស់ពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរឲ្យមានរបៀបរៀបរយជាចាំបាច់ការងាររៀបចំនិងសម្រួលកិច្ចការជាថ្មីឡើងវិញក្នុងលក្ខណៈសមស្របតុល្យភាពសង្គមទំនើបរៀបចំប្រាក់សោធននិវត្តន៍របស់មន្ត្រីរាជការដល់អាយុកាលទៅចូលនិវត្តន៍ការធានារ៉ាប់រងនៅក្នុងពេលមានគ្រោះថ្នាក់និងជួបនៅគ្រោះអាសន្នមហន្តរាយនានាធានាការពារសុខភាពសាធារណៈជនពិការស្ត្រីមេម៉ាយនិងកុមារកំព្រាជំនួយនិងសង្គ្រោះបន្ទាន់ដល់ប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរនៅពេលដែលមានអាសន្នតុលាការយុត្តិធម៌និងឯករាជ្យជំរះឲ្យខាងតែបាននៃចរិតពហុយុត្តាធិការច្បាប់ដើម្បីទទួលយកបានភាពយុត្តិធម៌ទាំងសងខាងរៀបចំឡើងវិញនៅប្រព័ន្ធតុលាការដើម្បីឲ្យមានយុត្តិធម៌និងឯករាជ្យរៀបចំអនុវត្តច្បាប់ថ្មីតាមប្រព័ន្ធការកាត់ទោសប្រហារជីវិតពិនិត្យវិจัยនៅប្រវត្តិរូបនិងសំណុំរឿងរបស់ចៅក្រមព្រះរាជអាជ្ញានីមួយៗដើម្បីតែងតាំងសារឡើងវិញនៅចៅក្រមព្រះរាជអាជ្ញាដែលស្អាតស្អំរៀបចំឡើងវិញនៅឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សានៃអង្គចៅក្រមពង្រឹងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចនិងមធ្យោបាយបង្កើតផលបំពេញបន្ថែមនៅគន្លឹះការពារនិងទប់ស្កាត់កុំបាត់បង់ដល់ឆ្នាំងបាយរា បញ្ចូលមធ្យោបាយទំនើបទូរគមនាគមន៍ប្រព័ន្ធកុំព្យូទ័របង្កើនធនធានមនុស្សតាមការអប់រំហ្វឹកហ្វឺនមុខរបរវិជ្ជាជីវៈពង្រឹងទំលាភាពគណនេយ្យភាពចំណូលរដ្ឋនិងគ្រប់គ្រងចំណាយសាធារណៈការពារសម្បត្តិធម្មជាតិនិងទឹកដីពង្រីកកសិការដ្ឋានកសិឧស្សាហកម្មបន្លែផ្លែឈើស្រូវឡាក់ពង្រឹងហេដ្ឋារចនាសម្ព័ន្ធអាងស្តុកទឹកគមនាគមន៍ដោយធ្វើការសិក្សាយ៉ាងលម្អិតស្ដីពីប្លង់មេនៃប្រព័ន្ធសរសៃលំហូរទឹកទូទាំងប្រទេសដែលជាសរសៃឈាមសម្រាប់បង្ហូរបញ្ចូលស្តុកទឹកឆ្ពោះទៅរកការអភិវឌ្ឍវិស័យកសិកម្មគ្រប់ច្រកល្ហកកែច្នៃប្លង់មេឆ្នៃទឹកសមុទ្រឲ្យคล้ายទៅជាទឹកសាបសម្រាប់បម្រើតម្រូវការរបស់ពលរដ្ឋក្នុងក្រុងឬពលរដ្ឋនៅជនបទពេលជួបប្រទះភាពអាសន្ននៃរដូវរាំងស្ងួតនិងបង្កើតផលឲ្យបាន3រដូវជារៀងរាល់ឆ្នាំពង្រឹងអនុភាពនិងបង្កើតសក្តានុពលតំបន់ទេសចររកទីផ្សារអន្តរជាតិដើម្បីលក់ចេញនៅផលិតផលរបស់កម្ពុជា
Thank you very much, Bomani. This have been an amazing milestone we have accomplished as a team. As known, we are just ordinary housewife and proud grandmother. Last month, our 10th show from one of the viewer made a friendly comment, and I would like to respond to him tonight. He commented that we should have done this Lady Viewpoint show in Khmer to gain more popularity. First, we would like to thank you to our viewer. His name is Dao Kralaham Yuttarit for taking the time to join our live show. Again, as we have mentioned many times during our show, the Supreme Council of Khmer Lady Viewpoint, the reason we are doing it in English to bring awareness to the world community and the new generation of Kon Khmer that grew up in different parts of the world. We are not seeking popularity. Our attention is to inform the world, and our mission is to liberate our motherland. Plus, we already have a show in Khmer, which I began shown weekly for the last 2 years. Can hear you?
I'm sorry. Yes, happy holidays to everyone. And you are correct, Wang Chavi. But before I start, I would like to share with everyone tonight of the great news of His Excellency Dr. Ray Chatham. Back in October the 27th of 2020, His Excellency got ratified and reconfirmed and revalidated Alpha Omega Global Soul Orbiter Authorities. And I am going to name the 11 world body signatories that ratify His Excellency. 1, the Federal Reserve Chairman. 2, the Secretary of U.S. Treasury Department. 3, the U.S. Attorney General. 4, the IMF Managing Director. 5, the President of European Central Bank. 6, the Governor Central Bank of England. 7, the Governor Central Bank of Switzerland. 8, the Republican House Leader. 9, the Democratic Speaker of the House. 10, the ranking U.S. Senator on the Judiciary Committee. And 11, the ranking Republican Senator on the Judiciary Committee. And congratulations to His Excellency for that. And thank you, Bong. You know, our young generation is lack of understanding and knowing the truth about our people's pain and suffering. In the last 100 years, the Supreme Council of Khmer is not interested in fame or glory. Our mission is to reclaim our sovereignty, which is being eradicated by the foreigners, which are no other than the Vietnamese communists, the Chinese communists, and we must let the world know the truth about who is trying to wipe us out. Bong?
That's correct.
Mong, if we do not speak out or voice our opinion, it would not be heard. I am adamant that we must stand up for our kids' future and the children's future. So we must reclaim our sovereignty back. This is the generations of the millennium, the generations of the internet and smart devices, Bong. We must think smart and fight smart.
Okay, lady, cool down. Come back to our 11th show.
Okay, Bong.
Yes, please conserve your energy for our show tonight, because tonight we have an exciting topic to share with our audience. Our attention tonight is to share with our audience contrast of the old Khmer Republic versus the new Khmer Republic. I am confident that the new Khmer Republic government, because we are very solid organization in every which way of bringing up a real government for the people, by the people. On Kalayan and on China, I know both of you have a lot of information to share with our audience tonight on this topic. Let's start with you, on China, since you all on the road right now.
Well, but thank you, Bong. Let me start off by saying this. I've always looked forward to being here with you in Mong Kalayan tonight. This show allows me to share with Sckhk Khmer out there the promise for our sad country. I cannot wait to see the big changes coming soon, as we said in our last show. So therefore, the new Khmer Republic government is the government of hope. As Mong Kalayan mentioned, the Supreme Council of Khmer, Help Khmer, with our big boss in the driver's seat, we are the organizations of solutions. We do not need 20 or 30 years to solve the problem, Mong Srai.
Yeah, Ochina, we are the organization of solution.
Right, Bong. The contrast between the old Khmer Republic that we led by President Lanol in the early 70s and the new Khmer Republic government is a big difference, Mong Kalayan, and I will do our best to share with everyone the best that we can with the limited time we have tonight. We are very confident that we will get our clear message across to all Khmer around the globe. First, we must be cleared where we control the destination, not like the old Khmer Republic, Mong Chavi. We have our resources and we have a master plan. Later this evening, we will address the outline of our master plan. And again, thank you, Bong.
Yes. Okay, lady, before we get too much ahead of ourselves, I would like to give some background on how the old Republic got started and why. On Kalayan, I hope you can help me with this, On.
Sure, Bong. Before our country got into a dark period in which we lost more than 3 million innocent lives, after the old Republic government failed to protect the country from corruption and was undermined by Sihanouk to weaken the government. The old Khmer Republic, per our data, we have covered during our previous Ladies Viewpoint show and Lukbong Sorapek's documents. It is clearly shown that all was instigated by Monique Easy when she came into Sihanouk's life as his number 6 wife. Sihanouk lived his life at the fullest, like a movie star, not like a head of state or king. He bankrupted the country with his lavish spending on movie making and living at large at the Khmer people expense. Cambodia National Bank was his personal piggy bank. Simultaneously, Monique's mother was doing the weapon runs for the Viet Cong, using the Khmer government resources to move the weapon from the seaport to the jungle. And the Viet Cong, the Viet Cong uses Khmer territory as a safe haven to carry out war with Americans in the South or Campuchia Krong. But first, I need to give a little background in order to give our audience a better understanding, Bong.
Please do. It is very interesting. You know, I would like to know as well too. Please continue on.
Okay, thank you, Bong. I will try to keep it brief so we could jump right into the contrast of the new and the old Khmer Republic government. Ever since Sihanouk got crowned as king and the country gained independence from France, Cambodia made significant development with no doubt due to rebuilding worldwide. And not too long, the former tyrants regimes like China and Vietnam began to map out their conquer quest again. When one person like Sihanouk became god of the people, that's when the problem started. His autocratic ego fits Ho Chi Minh doctrines perfectly to swallow our existence. If only we review our history, we will see it. Playing God is dangerous to the country, Bong.
You know, Bang Kalyan, I have to agree with you. You are so right about that. Our land was about 1.2 million kilometers, 1.2 million square kilometers during the Mahanaco era, and now only 176,520 square kilometer long. Yes, this is because all Khmer kings played God.
I agree with you, lady. But for now, please don't get too far of our topic. Please keep it focused on the event that leading to the March.
Okay, well,
year 1970.
Sorry, Bong. Thank you for bringing us back on track here, Bong. Thank you. Sihanouk got himself into trouble, and he does not know how to handle it. Due to his autocratic governing style and inexperience, I guess he got lost in solving international issues or even the regional issues with the neighboring countries.
What kind of trouble did Sihanouk get himself into, Galian?
Well, you know, Onchina, could you answer this because you did the research on this one?
Of course, Bong, thank you. Sihanouk led his wife and his mother-in-law ran his foreign policy with the Ho Chi Minh government, Bong. Both of them allowed Viet Cong to use Khmer territory to the point that it got the country into major problem with the international community and threatened country sovereignty.
Thank you, Onchina. How did they solve the problem? Galian, can you elaborate on this on?
Sure, Bong. You know, Sihanouk got panicked from the international community pressure, especially the Americans. And it was quite hard, not knowing what to do because his wife, Monique, sold our country to the devil Ho Chi Minh. He left the country erupted under the pretext of health issues that needed emergency medical care in Europe. This happened back in January of 1970.
What role did General Lunol and Prince Rima play on this of this?
Well, Bong Chavi, General Lanol was very loyal to Sihanouk, as we know, as always, but Prince Mata was more of a man of his own. They all tried to come up with some kind of solutions, but in the end, Sihanouk double-crossed these two men due to his wife, Monique Easy, outplay Sihanouk. Even the Queen Sihanouk's mother tried to persuade Sihanouk to work out the solution by coming back home first to solve it together as a country.
I understand that Sihanouk agreed to come back home, and then he changed his mind the next morning, just like right before the flight.
Yes, he did, Bong. Sihanouk got convinced by his mother-in-law not to return home and to deal with it from abroad. She went on to say that nobody could touch Sihanouk. Plus, Mr. Lonol and Prince Srimata needed him to run the country.
Now let's back it up a little bit. What do we know 1 year before this saga happening?
Well, like I said, Bong, Sihanouk got himself into a major trouble. And what we know was sometime in 1969, General Lonol was in Europe for medical treatment from his car accident. He was very seriously injured on his left leg. We could say tonight that Sihanouk was very inconsistent with his foreign policy and domestic policy. However, his relationship with America went sour from May 1965, but was reestablished on July 2nd, 1969. Now, to me, this was the downfall of the country during this period. While the world was fighting communists, Sihanouk embraced socialism and communists. He preaches socialism. He was a totalitarian leader. He would not accept any policy that is anti-socialist policy. In summary, again, we got played by the Vietnamese. This would not this would be the last time, because the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer will not let this happen again, ladies.
Thank you, On. Now let us talk about the last few months that lead to the Khmer Republic formulation. And I would like to ask you lady to share what and why Khmer Republic Lon government fell.
Well, per our research and documents provided by Lobang Sarapek, and I will read out the first 6 of 10 chronicle events that led up to March the 18th, 1970. And Onchina, please read out the remaining, please.
Absolutely.
Here are the first 6 events in the chronicle order. On January 6, 1970, Sihanouk left Cambodia for France without informing the government. He cited health reasons that require him to seek medical treatment in France. And 2, in an early February 1970, Sihanouk met with Mr. Lonol in Paris. 3, on February the 3rd, 1970, the National Assembly arrested a case of fabric smuggling from Hong Kong with Colonel Om Manidan, the Secretary of State for the Ministry of National Defense, involved with Sihanouk's brother-in-law. And 4, on March the 8th, 1970, demonstration erupted in Svay Rieng province against the presence of Viet Cong in Cambodia territory. The protesters demanded that the Viet Cong leave Cambodia immediately. And 5, on March the 11th, 1970, another demonstration erupted in Phnom Penh against the Viet Cong and North Vietnam. The embassy of the Provisional Government of South Vietnam and North Vietnam were vandalized by protesters, mostly by high school students. And on March the 6th, number 6, on March the 14th, 1970, Sihanouk sent a telegram to the government. In the cupboard, Sihanouk stated that he did not support the protesters. As you see, Sihanouk played Mr. Lonol and Mr. Rimatak. Now, Onchina, could you please take over the remaining event?
Sure, Bong, so you can catch some breath here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bong Kolyad. Here are the remaining 4 chronicles event leading up to March 18, 1970. On March 16, 1970, a meeting between the Cambodian delegations, the Vietnamese and North Vietnamese delegations, but with no solutions. On the same day, there was another demonstrations against Vietnam in front of the National Assembly, which was the meeting to investigate the smuggling case involving Mr. Om Munaran. So the protesters demanded that the National Assembly immediately resolve the issue, requiring the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese troops to withdraw from Cambodia territory. The government and the Queen, Sihanouk's mother, decided to send 3 dignitaries, Prince Kandal, Mr. Yam Sambo, and Deputy Kim Eng, I believe, to France. Yes, to relate the news to Sihanouk about the country situation. Still, Sihanouk refused to meet the delegate. And then I guess on number 8, on March the 17th, 1970, Mr. Lonol announced on the radio that he had arrested Colonel Borhol, the Phnom Penh police chief, Sihanouk's cousin, for plotting a coup against the government. And then number 9, on March the 18th, 1970, during Sihanouk official visit to the Soviet Union at 1:30 p.m. in Cambodia, the Khmer National Assembly voted to oust Sihanouk as head of state. And then number 10, on March 1970, Mr. Lonol declared a deadline for Viet Cong and North Vietnam to withdraw their troops from Cambodia territory within 48 hours. King Sihanouk, meanwhile, made a radio call from Beijing calling for all Kon Khmer to an uprising against the government led by Mr. Lonol, known as the Royal Government for National Salvation. Mom, these are the 10 chronicle events that led up to the Civil War. In our opinion, is all because of Sihanouk's selfishness. Mong Kalyan and Mong Chavi, back to you.
Lady, that's thank you very much. That's a lot of information. On Kalyan, can you tell our audience who was behind the uprising against Viet Cong in North Vietnam in Svay Rieng and Phnom Penh?
Well, I will try my best here. Per my document here, I have in front of me here all the facts. I am going to give some background about power exchange from Sihanouk to General Lon Nol first. When Sihanouk met Mr. Lon Nol in Paris in February of 1970, Mr. Lon Nol received medical treatment in France in August 1969. During that time, Prince Srimatat was the first Deputy Prime Minister and the caretaker Prime Minister of the National Salvation Government. King Sihanouk and Mr. Lon Nol raised the problem of Vietnamese communist troops in Cambodia, a hot topic leading to a loss of confidence in the principle of Khmer neutrality in the international community and diplomatic disruption, communication with the United States again. And at that same time, King Sihanouk asked General Lon Nol to lead the government to save the nation with 3 political roadmaps. 1, economic reform. 2, finding a new path for the nation's future. And 3, reviewing the foreign policy. This was clearly a total reverse of policy. Sihanouk ran into a block wall and had no solutions. The country was bankrupt from his policy and his wild personal spending. I am pretty sure that Sihanouk put Mr. Lon Nol up to all the protests against the Vietnamese infringing into Cambodia territory leading to March 18, 1970. This was another flip-flop policy of Sihanouk Bong.
Thank you, On Kalyan. I think we have a pretty good idea of what really took place. Now let us talk about Mr. Lon Nol government fell so we could share with our audience how and why the new Republic government will be success. On China, can you share on and why Mr. Lon Nol government fell on?
Sure, Mong. As you know, the Lon Nol government was a government formulated from a failed bankrupted Sihanouk's government. Sihanouk created a nightmare for all Sckhk Khmer for the last 70 years. Sihanouk created and supported all the enemies that we are facing today. He supported the Viet Cong and Ho Chi Minh to fight with Americans, eventually out to destroy us. Sihanouk alienated and pushed Khmer scholars out of government to formulate their movement. Later, he joined them and killed 3 million something plus people. While we must recognize that General Lon Nol was a true patriot, he was one of the few leaders who dare call on illegal Vietnamese migrants in Cambodia to leave our territory within 48 hours.
Yes, I agree, China. He was the first Khmer leader to call for a mass illegal migrant and 200,000 Viet Cong troops to leave Cambodia. But unfortunately, Sihanouk, as we stated, wasted no time to hit the radio to call on the Khmer people to join forces to fight the Lon Nol's government. This was 180 turnaround from rescuing the country and turning the country into the nightmare that we are facing now.
Wow, 200 Viet Cong troops on our soil. This is an act of like treason, punishment by the death penalty, if any constitution.
Well, Mom, when Mr. Lon Nol was formulating the Khmer Republic government, the new government's military was in a ragtag condition. As we could see in the video earlier, when Mom Mani, showed us, Sihanouk never had any interest in our country and people. He left the military in a very vulnerable stage or conditions to fight enemies.
Yes, you know what? And General Lon Nol and Prince Srimatat actually have no choice but to take over the country due to the country, 1, broke, 2, with 200,000 foreign soldiers, which are the Viet Cong, in our territory. And a few weeks later, Sihanouk joined forces with Khmer lifelong enemies, the Viet Cong, kill us. Yes, Sihanouk did committed gross treason than anyone we know in the Khmer modern history.
You know, I have to agree with you, Bong. Sihanouk committed gross treason for all. He called upon all Kon Khmer to join him in the Maki forest um, in Cambodia.
Yeah. What do you mean by Maki forest, On?
Well, Bong, Maki forest mean the deep forest away from the civilizations, away from the city and all that.
Wow. Thank you, Ochina.
You're
Kalian,
welcome.
what is your thought of General Lon Nol failure?
Well, Bong, you know, General Lon Nol did not have any preparations to take over the government, especially in this condition. He was fighting multiple fronts, Sihanouk, Khmer Rouge, and the Viet Cong. The country became so disarray right after the new Khmer Republic was formulated. All roads between provinces got disconnected. Farmers are no longer able to farm and produce any foods. The inflation ran wild. The cost of goods shot up 100%. And I have an example here. You know, the one bowl of noodle was five real per bowl, went up to 500 real per bowl. And 1 kilo of pork from 12 real to 1,250 real per kilo before the government fall in 1975.
Wow.
You know, Bong, yeah, it is really sad when the fighting started in the provinces, people moved into the capital, the corruption rampage was out of control when the inflation jumped that year.
Thank you, Ochina. I want to verify what I hear on Saturday, the 5th December, during our question and answer show, that China played a major role in breaking up relationship between Sihanouk and Lon Nol. Can you verify this? I might hear it wrong. Kalian, can you verify this on?
Sure, Bong, you know, you heard it right, Bong. China was the instigator in starting the turmoil and our nightmare. They want us to be weak so they could conquer us with no other reason. So China sent a special envoy to meet with Mr. Lon Nol in Phnom Penh to negotiate sometime in April of 1970. Bong.
What is the term of condition of the negotiation?
Well, Bong, the communists, they never have anything for our best interest. It's only for their interests. China asked Mr. Lon Nol to consider 3 conditions, and Mr. Lon Nol has until the end of April to respond back to them. And the 3 conditions are Mr. Lon Nol government to facilitate the transport of all food and weapons to the Viet Cong through Cambodia to fight South Vietnam. And 2, agree to allow North Vietnam to deploy troops in Cambodia. And 3, agree to recognize the Chinese policy and be willing to influence to them all by means.
Bong Kalian, these conditions are not in the best interest of Khmer at all, Bong. Damn this communist bloodsucker sure had Khmer's future to prolong with a bloody war ever since. This was stopped with the new Khmer Republic. And I really adamantly want to say that, you know.
Yes, you know, China, you know, the communists wanted to control us, but General Lon Nol recognized those 3 conditions. So Beijing will not recognize Sihanouk and will recognize the Khmer Republic if General Lon Nol agreed to their conditions. But General Lon Nol refused and rejected all the 3 conditions.
So what happened after General Lon Nol refused offer?
Well, it was the beginning of our nightmare, Bong. Next day, on May the 1st, 1970, China recognized Sihanouk. Mao Zedong solemnly declared that China was willing to provide financial assistance according to the prince's needs, and announced that China would pay no interest when the prince won the victory. And 5 days later, a royal government was formed called the Government of National Unity of Cambodia, with Mr. Phai Nut as its prime minister and Mr. Chao Sein as a minister in charge of special mission that approach all foreigners, especially the West. And General Lonol rejected the offer. Again, with his rejection, China turns to Sihanouk to finance, and that was the beginning of our nightmare.
And then Bong, at the time, Khmer Republic government of Lonol was very weak. General Lonol had to fight two fronts. And it's sad, one front against Sihanouk with China backing, and then the second front with Viet Cong, with Bao Dai Group, is very well trained in hundreds of thousands of soldiers with guerrilla skills. And as I have said, the corruption was rampaged with internal fighting between General Lonol's brother, Mr. Lonol, and Prince Seremata. But, you know, I mean, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes. Let's look forward to our Khmer Republic government by the Supreme Council of Khmer Health for Rescue Movement Master Plan. Lady outline what will be different and what we have to assure all Khmer around the world that would be a peace and not worry about another civil war for benefit of the foreigner, Chinese communists and Vietnamese communists again.
No, well, let me start with the outline of the Supreme Council of Khmer Health Master Plan that we have briefly covered during our Ladies Viewpoint show number 10. I can assure you that the two Khmer Republic is very different from day and night government structure. The new Khmer Republic government has a very solid planning. The Supreme Council of Khmer Health is not an incidental organization. His Excellency made extensive planning before all of us joined 24 months ago. The old Khmer Republic was a government that came out of a failed regime that bankrupted and abandoned by Sihanouk when he ran off into hiding in Paris. The old Republic government depends on the United States government for everything like finance, military technique, or the hardware support. The new Khmer Republic government does not depend on anyone. The new Khmer Republic has solid support from the Supreme Council of Khmer Health Khmer to be changed to the Supreme of Nation. This will be the backbone and the shadow government of the new Khmer Republic government. The new Khmer Republic government will be armed with the latest technology and technical support from all the 9 regions that His Excellency controls for the last 25 years. Well,
thank you, On. Ochina, what is your thought on this and what will make the new Khmer Republic government different?
well, Bong Chavi, General Lonol and Prince Seremata were not prepared to take over the government back then, as we all know. They did not have all the deep support of the financial infrastructure that the new Khmer Republic had or has. This is a major difference. You cannot buy or trade without financial support. This has led to corruption at all levels of government.
On Kalayan, I understand that this was a secret negotiation for a peace settlement. The China Communist Party backed out of this agreement at the last minute.
yes, Bong, they did. President Lonol was in so much tears. On his way to the airport, he did not travel straight to Honolulu on that day. He detoured via Jakarta and stayed there until April the 8th, 1975, before continuing his travel to exile in Honolulu, Hawaii. The interim president of the Khmer Republic, or the caretaker president, Mr. Sckhk Khmer, announced via radio that his government was preparing for Prince Sihanouk to rejoin the government. And as the record has shown, President Lonol left for Honolulu on April the 8th, 1975. But this agreement never materialized because the inner circle of the Upper Chinese Communist Party changed their political direction not to honor the agreement at 4 a.m. on April the 12th, 1975.
Mong Kalyan and Mong Chavi, in my opinion, the Chinese Communist government never intended to honor the agreement anyway. As history unfolded, they abandoned Sihanouk in 1975 and Khmer Rouge in 1979. Now they are about to abandon Hun Sen again.
Thank you, On Kalayan. On China, please share with us of the new Khmer Republic government master plan.
Well, Bong Chavi, corruption is a disease that will eat up the government if it is allowed. We must stamp out the corruptions from the start of the new government. His Excellency has allocated unlimited financial apparatus resources to support the new government with multiple stimulus programs to give it a shot in the arm per financial injections into the government and economy. In plain words, we will open the floodgate of cash into the new Khmer Republic government economy. We are talking in billions and billions of US dollars. I can feel the rush in my blood bone when we talked about this.
Open the floodgate of cash and with billion dollar USA dollar. I can see this happening. Wow, I must say, wow. Yeah, please add your thought if you have any, please.
Oh, sure, Bong. You know, this is absolutely going to happen, Bong. All Kong Khmer can bank on this. However, I would like to point out some of the other significant things that His Excellency has crafted out in the last many years to come. It is political stability. He created a political equilibrium, ensured that our country will not be bothered by foreigners anymore.
What do you mean by this political equilibrium? Please explain.
Well, Bong, in the last 10 years, His Excellency has been invested heavily in establishing a political foundation with a key global player like the United States. He established a financial benchmark through a Department of Treasury that will be hard to break off. The ASEAN region, with multiple nations like Singapore, also established two very solid relationships with major financial institutions. For Malaysia, the relationship is anchored at the highest level that we could possibly have. And for the Arab League, the relationship would be better with many financial and economical relations would last hundreds of years to come. These relationships only grew strong every year. So Vietnam and China should have a second thought before they declare to encroach into our sovereignty again. In simple words, he has balanced out the force already. The allies he established is the best money could buy, Bong. And all we have to do now is just follow his lead, ladies.
This is awesome, lady. This sounds like very salad, but please elaborate a little bit on this to help our audience better understanding. I will have a floodgate of cash open up. And what Kalayan said about this political ally that established have a political equilibrium. Kalayan, can you help understand how the floodgate of cash will happen?
Sure, Bong. The two items just mentioned are the two most important pillars for a country must have to be successful. One, cash. Two, a solid political policy that can stand up to domestic and foreign disaster. Without cash flow, the economy will come to a standstill. Without a solid political policy, the country will be sink if any domestic or foreign terror. The floodgates of cash to be injected in the new Khmer Republic government is in position already, because His Excellency has shown us the AU SKR that to be used to generate the financial needs and to back the new Khmer currency, the real. Not like the old Khmer Republic government was living on the United States government assistance.
Let's regroup here for a second. Number one, we will have unlimited financial resources that will inject into the economy and into the government sector. Number two, we will have a strong political policy, domestic and foreign. Number 3, corruption will stem right from the start with the new government. The third is very difficult to accomplish. On China, can you share how the new government will handle without getting into too many detail?
Well, yeah, Bong, both of you are very right. This corruptions will be a big task for the new Khmer Republic government, and we are ready. His Excellency will bring many former ministerial level as an advisors from the 8 countries or more. These advisors are coming out of their retirement to help us. They will bring 20, 30, or 40 years of experiences in their field to springboard our new government to synchronize with the world community seamlessly, Bong.
Can you name the country that this advisor come from, if you could, On?
Yes, of course, Bong. But please be advised that our advisors list is still in working progress, Bong. We have not finalized the list yet, but we have pretty good list of the advisors who have been advising us on the liberation. These advisors previously and currently working for OITC, like retired ministers, former ambassadors from a great country like Israel, France, the US, and EU member countries. The 8 attorneys group will also continue to provide important services for many more years to come, Bong. This group of advisor is the All-Stars team. I personally have no worries whatsoever. I can bank on this for sure, like Bong Kalayan.
Yes, Gina. With the All-Star team, His Excellency will be finished to assemble with and will provide a solid foundation in reforming key ministries, like the Ministry of Mahanako, the Ministry of Defense, and the Ministry of Justice. The most important thing, we will be successful in it due to His Excellency careful planning. I'm gonna do a simple comparison here. One, the old Republic government is fighting 3 enemies in one war: internal enemy, Sihanouk, and Vietnam. The new Republic government, with no war to fight, no enemies are capable of fighting us because His Excellency already breaks them or decommissioned them. 2, the old Republic government was cash trapped. The new Republic government has unlimited resources to run the country. 3, the old Khmer Republic government has no political leverage. The new Khmer Republic government has allies all over the world with financial security with each nation. 4, the old Khmer Republic government has no political policy and running behind the problem all the time. The new Khmer Republic government has a solid master plan for 20 years outlook. With what I just briefly outlined, I am very confident that the new Khmer Republic will be successful. Please.
That is very impressive, On Kalayan. I hope our audience around the world could see the new Khmer Republic will bring hope and soon.
Well, the main thing is when the Supreme Council of Khmer takes over the government, we will not fight any more war because His Excellency already stabilized the enemies at front. The Chinese government will submit to His Excellency demands. The Vietnamese Communist government will be running for protection from our storm of lawsuits. As for the new Khmer Republic government, will only concentrate on rebuilding our country by starting to reform the corrupted, creating fresh seed for the next generation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well, Bong. Bong Chavi, I would like to close this evening with the statement directly to all patriots Sckhk Khmer out there, especially to the young generation. Remember that no matter how much our lenient declines, if the next generation refuses to surrender, awaken the Khmer people descendants, souls to be brave, cultivate the conscience and the spirit of nationalism. Our national will be strong, prosperous, again in our generations and the new generations to come. The younger generation is the righteous owner of Mahanako land. We, as Sckhk Khmer, must treasure what we have. One, Khmer has the oldest and unique cultures in Southeast Asia. And then two, Khmer has the best ancient temple constructions in the world. And then three, Khmer has good art, the oldest, the most beautiful sculpture, well-designed, more superior to foreigners. And then four, Khmer has its own Khmer literature. Five, Khmer has a very rich traditions that we all should be proud of. And then six, Khmer has a race of warriors, scholars, and artists that not everyone can imitate. And then seven, Khmer has been virtuous, moral, and safe from the beginning. And eight, Khmer has a land of Savanapum, favorable to farmers all over the country. So therefore, we as Sckhk Khmer, the master of Angkor and the successors, must absolutely preserve the Khmer people's cultural heritage so that they do not come to be annihilated like Champa again. With this ending, I am very grateful for being here tonight, and may Lord Buddha continue to bless all Sckhk Khmer out there. Bong, keep fighting because hope is coming and we shall meet each other soon. Bong Chavi, Bong Kalyan.
Thank you, On China. Now your last thought on Kolayan.
Well, thank you, China. I am very grateful to be here also. And Bong Chavi, thank you. Doing what we do best is to bring awareness to the world that a lack of the truth about how the Vietnamese communists and the Chinese communists try to steal our land with all the traders' help. And for tonight's ending, I would like to end with this thought. Ever since His Excellency got bestowed with the most powerful financial authorities by the world leaders and the United States Congress on January the 20th, 1995, enemies of all types and colors attacked him with no ending. And I guess His Excellency was very well prepared for his job even before he was given with all these authorities. As he always said, and I quote, "When you are high above everyone, you tend to get hit with strong wind. And the higher you get, the stronger the wind." With this quote and thought, I would like to share the assessment relating to his quote. Since 1995, many people have tried to unseat him by trying to kill him in many ways. So I would like to share my thought with everyone tonight. All his enemies whispered to His Excellency and said, "You cannot stand the storm." This is me. "You cannot withstand the storm." And His Excellency respond, "I am the storm. I am the Alpha Omega. I am Sckhk Khmer. I have all the code in my head. So what can you do for me?" Ladies and Sckhk Khmer around the world, this is very true. The Alpha Omega code is the most powerful financial code in the world. This is the first and last code that the world community ever needs. Only one Sckhk Khmer has it. What do you think, ladies? Can the Supreme Council of Khmer brings prosperity and happiness to the Savanapum land again?
Oh, yes, for sure, Bong. He's one remarkable and outstanding person we have ever met. So I totally bind on it. Yes.
And we will too. We can and we will.
Yeah, I'm excited because hope is coming, I just can't wait to see Sckhk Khmer liberated, Sckhk Khmer happy again, Bong.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. Back to you, Bong. Yes, back to you. Thank you, Bong.
Absolutely, lady. Yes, we can. I am very excited. Your closing remark, lady. I am going to recap the most important area that the new Khmer Republic government will have. Number one, 18 ministry with the woman heading the 9 ministry. Number 2, reform all the ministries, especially the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Mahanago, formerly known as Interior, and medical care and social program. Number 3, unlimited financial resources, all injecting into the economy with 20 years of outlook planning for development. Number 4, illegal foreigner will be charged and prosecuted for illegally entering Cambodia. Number 5, land allocation program to implement for the homeless. 6, job creation program to bring all Khmer workers back from neighboring country. I know the list on and on, but these are the most important one. To end this evening, I would like to requote an Israeli slogan and Lok Surapik quote on December the 5th. Israeli slogan is, "Do not be rubbish this country." This is a powerful slogan that all Khmer, especially the new generation, must follow to protect our land. Again, our wonderful evening has come to an end too soon, but we shall meet again soon. Thank you, On China and On Kalayan. You lady are wonderful.
Thank you, Bong.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Khmer around the world, hope is coming soon. The Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue will assure that all traitors will be brought to justice. And before we close out this wonderful evening, I would like to acknowledge Lok Chin Tiêu Savanho and Mr. Ukso for their guidance and support of our Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. Lady Viewpoint show us always. And last but not least, to His Excellency Professor Dr. Richard Dam, we all the Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue, Lady Viewpoint, wish to thank you, Your Excellency, from the bottom of our heart for giving us here the opportunity to be part of the history. Until we meet again next month, please follow Khmer Politics and the Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. If you find this show of value, please share it. And Merry Christmas and have a safe holiday, everyone. Thank you and good night. ខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមថ្លែងអំណរអគុណដល់អស់លោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តតែងតែតាមដានកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនៃឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិយើងនឹងវិលជួបគ្នាសាជាថ្មីលើកក្រោយទៀតសូមអរគុណសូមជម្រាបលាសូមជម្រាបលាសូមអរគុណយើងខ្មែរតែមួយ តំណាងជាតិខ្មែរឯកឧត្តមដាំឆិនរីក្លាហានពូកែបដញ្ញាជួយខ្មែរបានសុខសាន្តត្រូវលើកស្ទួយលោកប្រធានតាមួយតំណាងជាតិខ្មែរឯកឧត្តមដាប់ឆិនរីក្លាហានពូកែបដញ្ញាជួយខ្មែរ